Isn't it interesting, and if you don't know that our beautiful cat Quanta was shot this week with a pellet gun, and we've been dealing with that too. But it's interesting, we picked our talk title 2 weeks ago, which was Spiritual Plot Twists. And we're like, why are we picking that title? But we went with it. And what I'm coming to understand even more is that our intuition is so important, like our intuition. And I'm just realizing for myself that I'm actually just growing my intuition now. Because the day that Quanta was missing, the day that I was at boot camp, spiritual boot camp with my beautiful tribe, and she was out, and I said, oh, Angela's going to be here in 5 minutes. But something inside me was saying, go get her. But I don't know. I just thought, well, Angela's going to be here. So I argued with it, I guess, and I left. And then I realized that it can be such a gentle nudge that we get about something. I'm sure it gets louder and louder the more you practice it. And so the next day, another nudge came to me and told me to go over to where it happened, where I thought it happened. And I was able, I listened to it that time, and I went over it. I didn't even know what I was looking for. I just went. And I saw Daryl, who works at the Hangwanji, and I just told him what happened. And he immediately told me that the people next door to him, I know, Patrick's not wanting. Anyway, it wasn't seen, and it's no proof, but I got information that I was able to give to the police. And so what I'm saying is, I feel that our intuition is being called upon really strongly right now in all ways in our life, and that it's the one thing we have in our toolbox that's foolproof if we listen to it, if we let it guide us. And what are spiritual plot twists? Like, you're going through your life, and then something, what is the definition of a plot twist? I wrote it down somewhere here. It's in screenwriting, it's a sudden, unexpected change in the direction or outcome of the story that significantly alters our understanding of what has happened or what's to come. So like, you're going along in your life, and then all of a sudden you're hit with something. Maybe you get a diagnosis, I don't know, it could be anything. It's a plot twist from where you thought you were going. And instead of like taking it like it's something bad, and it hurts, and you feel your feelings and all of that, but what if we got curious about it? Like, what got curious about what happened? And what was it here to teach us? And I started thinking about quantum science and the idea of unlimited potentiality and entanglement and uncertainty. Uncertainty is a big one. But how uncertainty means that, like, the universe is like in flow. It's in particles and waves, and it's moving, and it's changing like in every moment. And when we focus on something, then we collapse the energy, and it becomes whatever it is. So we were focusing our energy on Tanner, and I know that by doing that, he's found. He's found in the perfect time. So you get a plot twist of some sort, and you remember that there's uncertainty, which is that the universe is in flux. There's no like staticness to it. And when we turn to look at something and we perceive it, like Melissa's quote, the way when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When we put our energy onto something or an event or an experience, and look at it, try to look at it with curiosity in a different way, we're going to focus, we're going to change that energy. It doesn't mean we're going to bring a person back to life. It just means that we're going to be stronger and be able to move through it and find out what the gifts are and what are the things that are coming forth for us. And then the idea of unlimited potentiality is just that it's so huge. Anything can happen. It's huge. Our power is so huge when we focus on something. It's unlimited. So it also, I was at the gym, and some person was kind of fatalizing about the world, and this is supposed to happen, and the last pope, and he was telling me all this stuff, and I was like, well, do you know, that's not true, because I said, for me, I said, because there's always free will, and that's what this uncertainty principle is about, is that we always have free will. So you can't, something might be a tendency that it's going to happen, but it's only a tendency if we all focus on it and like to decide that it's going to happen. You know what I mean? And enough energy goes on it, and then, okay, like, I mean, look at the things that are happening today in the world. So uncertainty, then entanglement. So we're all connected, right? They've proved this. I'm not making this up. It's scientific. And that there's a connection between things, particles. There's a particle over here and a particle over here, and they're connected to each other, and one reacts and the other one reacts, back to it. So this is the whole thing about this mission statement, is that we're one energy, we're one source. So it would make sense when we set an intention or a direction, and we keep our vibration there and our intention on it and pay attention to it, that different things are going to come in to bring it forth. Like, if we can keep in the vibration, we're not making it happen, but we're just keeping our intention there, so that and our attention on it. So with quanta, it's difficult when you watch an animal suffering, and you're like, okay. And are you looking at her legs, or are you looking at her wholeness? She moves one leg, and you're like, oh, but what about the other one, or whatever? No, pay attention to the wholeness, and focus on that. And so I just think that the idea of plot twists, to me, in our life, because we get lots of them. Things happen, people die, people get sick. We have an amazing something happen. It's not always, something that's sad, but if we could just actually really look at it and make some decisions about what we want. That's why it's so important to have intentions for your life. And I said, like, if we just follow the joy, all the breadcrumbs will be there for us to follow to bring it forth. And on a lighter note, like, I had the opportunity to sing on Friday night at a public concert, and I haven't had that opportunity since I've been on this island, but I made the intention that I was going to start working on my voice. I was going to really pay attention to working on my voice. I was going to bring it back to where it was before I stopped singing. And I made that intention. I met this beautiful man, Hank, through Melissa. Then I went over, and then he, just out of the blue, which seemed out of the blue, he asked me to sing with him at this concert, to be his singer. And I was like, okay, well, what is that? That's like you set an intention, and then you don't expect. I didn't know that was going to happen. So it's just such a beautiful thing. And so I just know that this time and space and what's happening in our world, that we're in that shift. We know we are, right? When more of us are going to get this, and we're going to stop getting out of our own problems, and we're going to start realizing that we have power, we have light, we have the power of love. That's the biggest power we have. It's a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. We put our love on Tanner, we put our love on that situation, everybody that's helping him. That's why I couldn't go into the negativity of what happened to Quanta, even though I wanted to, because I knew if I went into hatred and blah, 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 it doesn't mean you don't take care of things, that I wasn't going to be able to help her heal. If I'm in anger over here, and then over here I'm saying, then that doesn't mean, like I'm saying, doesn't mean that things shouldn't be taken care of. That's not what it means. It means what's the emotion behind it and what's the intention behind it. So, yeah. This has been like a great week in so many ways, even though it was a horrible week in so many ways. But it's been, because I think like these plot twists, all they're saying to us is come back to yourself. Come back to yourself. Remember who you are. And you know what happens sometimes when we just are going along and we're like, we get complacent and we don't continue to do the work because everything's going fine in our life and we're not like necessarily growing. We're just going along and complacent, and let them do it. They'll take care of that or whatever. And then something comes along, goes boom, like that, right? And it wakes us up. And that's all it's about. It's about waking up. So let's just wake up. It'll make it much more easier, right? So let's just take a deep breath. And I have this little affirmation. It's, I honor the plot twists of my life as sacred catalysts. Say it with me. I honor the plot twists in my life as sacred catalysts. What does that mean? It means they're here for us to change and evolve and grow and make something beautiful happen. So let's take a deep breath before I bring the musicians back up here. My beautiful Amy and Jeremy, who were the perfect people to be here today. Let's just take a deep breath and just focus our attention on the joy that we have, the joy that is us, gratitude for life itself that moves through us and lives and breathes us. There's so many things to be grateful. I'm grateful for all the people who are helping to find Tanner right now. I'm grateful for all the people that have come in to help Quanta. There's so much to be grateful for, and I just stay in gratitude, stay in love, stay in light, and know, and I keep my intention on that, on the joy, on the love, on the peace, on the power and the presence that we all are. So I am so, so grateful for this time to be able to share myself and to have this beautiful community of people who are so loving and so kind and so powerful. And so I'm surrounded by like-minded, powerful people, and I know we continue to grow, we continue to expand, we continue to live in the love and the light that is each and every one of us, that source energy. And so I know everything good for us as I just bless us and affirm, and so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you.